Hi everyone, it's Veronica Bartolini with Codebreaker Real Talk. I hope everyone is doing great tonight. It's actually morning. It's 03:25 hours on the 8th of December 2022. I had been listening to a video online with Ryder Lee, Raised by Giants, and Walter Bosley that one of my friends sent me today, and it makes sense. It makes sense what they do here on planet Earth, and then more specifically to well beings like us that have multiple abilities, that we are clear, what they call psychic medium channelers, whatever. Um, Specifically the O negative blood type as myself. And I figured out what their whole plan is on both sides of the coin. So, if you have been following the agendas of the Secret Space program, along with, we'll call it the White Hats, those of you that have been following will pretty much get this. For example, the faction of Max Spears, I pretty much, if there was a team, which I don't like to call it team, I guess we can say faction, to bring out the truth, I would be on Max Spears' side, not on James Casbold's side, aka Michael Prince, because there are many things involved with that side that I don't agree with. One of them is survival of the fittest, and forget about the rest of the world, pretty much forget about the rest of the humans. Um, before I get into all what I've been discovering here is when I was I had a uncle, my mother's cousin, that was in the Navy, and he had to be put on Social Security disability. Um, the story went that my mom told me and that the family said is that my uncle Rudy, I mean, not Rudy, but Rodolfo, he was given LSD in the military and he was no longer the same. And I was very close to him. He was, he became more childlike. It was really hard for him to talk. He would just be smoking all the time, just constantly smoking. He wasn't a drinker per se that I remember. I would sit with him outside in Nogales, Arizona, when we'd go visit Mexico, Sonora, and in the summers. We would have family get-togethers, and I would always be drawn to him. Like, why doesn't anybody accept him? Like, how come they think he's not normal? Like, I could see that to me, he was like me, like normal to me. I could converse with him, I could talk to him about anything, but most of the time we just sat there quiet. And once in a while he would talk. Um, that I remember, I don't remember him saying much about the military. Um, all I know is that the story goes that somebody gave him LSD in a drink. But now that I know about all this stuff, it makes sense. They did the whole MK Ultra plan on him. because he also had abilities to go through stargates and like they used me and using me for the wormholes when I was a year and 8 months, according to Peter the Insider. Um, the Department of Defense um, had given a check to my mother for $10 million for me to be in this program, and to this day they have me as a special soldier. So, I was able to um, breathe underwater somehow. They had me in this little small pea size, how do you say, like a pod, we'll say, um, not pea size, but like a pod. And I was able to communicate with dolphins, all this stuff. I was able to go through wormholes and retrieve things that will say the military or whatever, whoever needed it, um, or for the secret space. Or I have a lot of memories, and again, some of these memories may be implanted. I'm still trying to figure them out. But one thing in this video that I thought a lot about, that is actually, this video really did help me to understand that he pretty much said, Bosley said that pretty much the people that are real, um, like me, that were used in the secret space, that were used in these programs are, you know, they pretty much had to be in the military. And myself, I find it weird is and amazing at the same time, and fucked up, is that they use me in the Army Reserves. I do have memories of being in Afghanistan, and I'm always, there's always a thing in my mind saying that I got to go back to Dubai. I'm like, why? Like, what's going on there? Is that another program, or why is it that I'm being called over there? I don't know. Um, let's see, where was I? So the real people that are using the secret space program for these abilities are, you number one, you've had to have been in the military or department, like Department of Defense, Army. um and with me, I was like, I was talking to one of the guys over there in Vegas like 2 years ago, and he said, oh, so you being a cop was your cover. And I'm like, I didn't understand that for a long time until now. So they have to have you in these programs in order to use you, for example, to use you in the Stargate program, and then give you the MK Ultra. Not that you have to be in the military per se to go to the Stargate program. It's just for them to say, oh, okay, we've used her since she was a baby, so we're just going to write it off as, okay, well, she was in the military. We're going to call her crazy. There are, I know that I was used as, we'll say, an assassin, or for intelligence, for spying. I also talked to one of the psychics that's pretty popular here, Essex, and just things like that. Now, I'm still trying to figure out which memories are real and which memories were implanted. There is a reason why they wanted me to end my life, and I did end up, unfortunately, pulling the trigger to my heart 1 inch away in Halloween of 2010. Obviously, there is a program called the Omega program, where the lock will say the what they call in the military the lock memory, or the lock. This is hard. So they pretty much wanted me to end my life because I was an asset to the government. And then, of course, their plan failed because I did die for 3 days and I was in the hospital for a month and a half. And that's when my mother had, she told me she had called everybody because she wanted them to say bye to me. That's when I saw my father, when I saw those creatures that were like cut in half. And you guys can go look at that on Unchaining Hearts on my other YouTube channel on my near death experience. I want to talk about the CIA love bite. There is also another thing that the government uses. Not only, you know, the whole Omega programming for you to kill yourself, so that way you don't have to talk about all this stuff. Um, I lost my train of thought, but anyway, I'll get it back. There's also this faction where this program where they implant memories of ETs. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying that, I do see that there is, like, for example, we'll call them the Anunnaki or whatever, the deceitful people will say they're just like us, they don't have to be like these monsters looking things, these dinosaur looking things. They don't have to be that. Those are screen memories. They there's a ET race that obviously came here to infiltrate Earth, and they were at war with others. Max Spears talks about the Aldebaran faction with the Draco Nazi. And, a lot of those, what it is I'm trying to, sorry, it's really hard to speak. But anyway, let me just go to this dream that I talked about the other day, because I'm being reminded of the avian Mayan, I guess, or Teotihuacan, or the avian beings, like, for example, the Mayans. I've had memories of those bird-like beings, and I had a dream the other day of the seven heavens. And you guys can go look at that dream. I know I'm outside at the park with Lola, and maybe it's not like too much in chronological order, but I had forgotten to say that when I was there before going through the gates, um, that a bright orange man with this, it was a man with a bright orange, like, suit, had on kind of like very thin material. He kind of looked like a bird being to me, but he was a man dressed, and he had a black hair, bowl cut. He was really tall. He was like maybe 7 feet tall. Um, and I'm thinking, okay, well, is he part of the ones that are called either the Jehovah's Witness or the door? Because I 7 doors did open in front of me, so I could leave that place. Like I said, you guys can go back and hear that. But what I'm trying to get at is that there's these different beings that are in place for the religion. There is a reason why the Catholic Church, I was involved with the Catholic Church and then the Christian Church. Why do they want you to go and confess your sins? We're not sinners. We don't need saviors. We don't. It's just their whole plan to get you to tell them the secrets and things like that. So I know that there is something coming. I know I've seen it in my visions, because, see, I'm a psychic medium and I'm a clear channel. So at the same time, I have all these abilities, but then they try to fuck me up with putting other shit like aliens and shit and abductions and crap like that. And there's a huge narrative right now going, with the Dracos. there's two really popular people out there that keep this narrative going. They are paid assets. They are paid by the government for disinformation, for the secret space program. And then they have another guy that is implanting more seeds of death, destruction, the whole Montauk thing, the whole rape thing, the whole victim thing. They want to keep that narrative going to instill fear in people. And also for those of us like me that were used in the secret space that were also in the military or cops, they want to keep them in fear mode and in obedience mode. And so what they did to me recently is, for example, I'll go back real quick. Michael Jaco, he's with the White Hats. He is actually part of disinformation for, like, for example, Michael Prince or James Casbolt. Me, I'm in the faction of Max Spears and in my own faction, and for me to tell the truth, okay? So there's this big war that's coming, and they are doing the fake alien invasion that I've talked about many times. They're gonna put, like, I don't know, maybe Jesus up there, Mary, or fucking Archangel Michael wannabe up there, and Michael, right? They're using all these Michaels, James Caswell, Michael Prince, right? Same person. Then they have Michael Jaco, and then now this new guy, Mike, the Navy whistleblower that was on my channel, and I took down the video because I felt very disrespected. He was sent to program me so that I could be obedient and I can, still be in the yes, sir mentality. Yes, boss, you're the boss and I'm nothing and I'm a woman. So I'm even worse than, a human because I'm a woman and I have, anyway. I did not feel respected in my own show. I was triggered. I would cry. He would use code words so that I could cry. And then later on, well, in the beginning, if you all saw it, he was very disrespectful toward Jessica from ACIO, made fun of all of us, really. And uh, the next day, I felt like, what the fuck what just happened? Okay. Because 2 days after we did the video, he was on another show, and that, oh, they talked about all kinds of stuff out there in space, and stuff that I know about, stuff that I wanted to talk about in my show, but it just kind of went the other way. So they will send these infiltrators to try and get you either confused, or feeling like, oh wow, they're coming already, they're gonna come and help me. They're gonna be there for me toward the end of the battle. Oh my gosh, I finally got my team together, assembled. Bullshit. Bullshit. It's just more disinformation, more doubt. And so, now I know why they sent MJ or Draco, what I call him, over there to Vegas, because they wanted to see if I was the real deal. They wanted to see who I was. And even Anthony Sender, I had him on the show, and he's like, yeah, Beto, you're legit. And I'm like, I know I am, but it's not, I'm not doing this video for you guys to believe that I'm legit. I'm not doing this for that. I'm not doing this for fucking popularity. If I was doing this, I would go on all these other shows and go with their agenda of, yeah, we're going to go and get on our dragon ships and fight these assholes. And, no, it's more than that, guys. It's a fight, a battle for our heart and for our mind and for our soul. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about the so anyway, real quick, before I get into the CIA love bite, what I'm trying to say is that there's these factions in place right now. You might want to call, okay, so the whistleblowers, the white hats are on one side, and then you have the secret space on the other side, but then they intermingle with the Stargate program because a lot of us in the military were trained in the Stargate program, okay? But then they want to call themselves super soldiers, which they're not. So people like, you have the real super soldiers, and then you have the fake super soldiers. You have the military infiltrators that want you to think that they're super soldiers, but they're not. But they were used with these Stargate program and things like that. The Navy. Going back to my uncle, the Navy. And then after that, I don't know. Somehow they got to me and they brainwashed me. I would always watch the channel on TV, Army, be all you can be. And throughout my whole life, it's like, man, I could be anything that I want to be. Army, I'm going to go to the Army. And I would watch MASH, and they have all these programs on TV and memes now and stuff online and all these things. Here, Earth is pretty much the, especially here in the United States, it's we'll say the Garden of Eden, but here in the United States, it's the most MK Ultra, it's the most V2K, it's the most programs that they decided that the US was going to be used for. Not only this, but they have the Sex Kitten Ultra program, music, religion's everywhere, but if you look at the fashion, the Gucci, the Balenciaga thing, all their little demiurge gods are there, you know. Baal is God, that's what they're saying. I don't think so. I don't have a God. I don't believe in the gods here of this earth. I don't believe in the gods of the Bible because everything is a narrative. Everything is a fucking lie. And it's up to you to see what is your truth. They have shunned me a lot in the secret space program because I won't go with their narrative of, yeah, we're gonna get on the ships and then, you know, the ships are coming and we're gonna get on there, we're gonna be saved, or yeah, we're gonna be fighting these assholes. There's a I know there is something coming, but the whole thing is, to me, I am not going to join in with CERN or secret space or DT to go through the wormhole that they want to make a new Earth because they know Earth is gonna go. We know Earth is going. Um, Ashiana Dean talks about wormwood that's coming in, and the Bureau just left we'll call it our ring or our atmosphere, whatever you want to call it. Then there's this debate on, is the Earth flat or is it in a dome, or why do the satellites get stuck in the dome? Well, that's because they have a dome around Earth, duh. And I have seen two suns. I'm not crazy, I know that. There's talk that there are two moons. I know that I've seen two Earths, and everything is double. What I find interesting also is that Bosley was saying that, what if the moon was a craft that some of us got here to Earth, or them got to Earth. My truth, this is just my truth, is that I came in as a shooting star because my awakening, what they call awakening, which is bullshit too, in 2010, I'm sorry, in 2017, February, was that this huge white light came out of my chest. And then I heard, like if a meteor, a star something had hit outside. I've told you guys the story many times and then I went outside, my roommates went outside, my neighbors went outside, and they didn't see a hole. They're like, what the fuck crashed? Well, I went, I came in. I'm here, baby. This is bigger than me. This mission is bigger than me. This mission is bigger than popularity. I'm not here for the votes. And I find interesting that at the police academy, I was hypnotized twice. And we used to call him Sergeant SpongeBob because we couldn't say his name. He was a German officer. What the fuck did they program me with then? What did they make me do that later on they wanted me to kill myself? And they used, my ex and all this shit. They used people around me that I thought I loved or they loved me or trusted. You know, it's fucked up. They still have my picture in the police academy today. I looked at it, I was like, the same picture that's there on the Zoom thing, it's there. Why do they have me there? Why do they have me there? I'm the pictures of me being in class are still there. Why me? They're pointing me out, guys. And they've tried to kill me. They've tried to infiltrate me many times. They've tried to take my power away many, many times. And I won't have that. They've tried to threaten my family. Fuck you. You will leave my family alone. Anyway, I'm going to talk about, why did they kill off my dad? My dad committed suicide when I was 13, when number 13. They used my mom. They would send her lovers too. My dad had to keep moving away because my mom, just was programmed to do that. I'm not saying he was innocent. I heard rumors that my dad was messing around too, but my dad had to literally move us from town to town and school to school. That's the CIA love bite. They would send these lovers to my mom. And they did the same to me after my marriage failed.